Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany and I want to welcome you into my garden. This is Tika's Gardens, and today I am going to be working here near the entrance to the bedroom garden. I'm going to be moving these Miss Lemonabelias to this center bed here along the walkway, and I'm going to be taking those gardenia radicans from those beds and putting them at the foundation, so swapping places. And the reason that I am doing that is because I really believe that the Miss Lemonabelia with that rich lemony lime green pop of color will look much better more out in the garden instead of up against the foundation. And I think something nice and rich and green will look very pretty up against the foundation. So that is what my plan is. I think that rich green color is just going to look nice up against the wall here. And I've been waiting for fall so I can move the Miss Lemonabelias. So fall's here, so I'm going to move them. There's some other planting I'm going to be doing. I'm going to see if I can get to it today, or if we're just going to get up in the morning and continue this planting spree that I'm on. Transplanting, moving things around, so on and so forth. Living with the garden over this season has helped me to really see where I think things will do better. Things look good as they are, and I really love it. And we're not getting rid of things. It's like, I think that's going to look better here. It's going to really show off more in the garden here. I think that's going to look better there, so it's one of those kinds of things. So we're just switching some things around, moving some things over a little bit. Those kinds of things are what we have been doing over the last few days. So today, moving the other two Miss Lemonabelias and moving the two gardenia radicans to the foundation. So swapping places. So I've got my shovel out, I've got my gloves, so we're just gonna get right into it. Oh, before we get into it, let me show you what I'm moving though. So, all right guys, so these are the two Miss Lemonabelias that we're moving. If you remember, we moved the two over here and put them out in the long border at the back of the garden to make a trio. So we're going to be moving these two here. And as I swing around slowly, they're literally just going right here. You can see the gardenia radicans right there. These are the ones I got from the clearance section, and that one right there. So we're going to be taking those two. They are a nice deep richer green. It's just that they are, like I said, from clearance, and trying to get them out of their struggle period right now. But I'm gonna move them here, just swapping places. I think that really rich deep green color is going to look nice there. And there is one, as I have shown you guys before, that has gotten buried underneath all of this cleome. Let me move my shadow. You can see it right there. Very pretty green color. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I've got my shovel, my gloves, so let's get started. right, guys, I have the shrubs switched their places. I've got some snapdragons planted, and I've got some in my pots. I have to water the pots. I have the other things watered in. I have to water the pots, but I'm going to show you what everything looks like. I had to come over here to this little corner to get me some shade because it is pretty hot. It's the middle of the day, not a time I'm usually out, but you know, out when I can. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Since I'm over here, let me show you the pots first. So let me turn the camera around. All right, here are the pots. Keep in mind, I have not watered them yet, so I know it's dark over here in this corner. That's that. I left room in the front so I can add some violas. So that's that. Now we will come over here to where we transplanted the gardenia radicans. These are low-growing gardenias, about 2 to 3 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. And those are the snapdragons. And last but not least, we're going to make a slow turn, and looking from the outside of the bed, look at that. Is that not beautiful? Oh my gosh, by far my favorite bed. They needed to be in this bed. Oh my gosh. The lemony lime colored of the Miss Lemonabelias and that deep rich burgundy color of the crepe myrtle and the pinks around it. Oh yes, yes, this bed needed these, and they needed this bed. Look at this. Is that not beautiful, guys? Oh my gosh. And then imagine that center part right there filled in when that juniper, Parsons juniper, spreads out. And keep in mind, it will spread out to this. These are Parsons junipers here. This is a mature one right here, so you can see. So it will spread to about that width. So imagine that. The Miss Lemonabelias, the Parsons junipers touching all below the crepe myrtle, which will be pruned up. The bottom will be pruned up so that there's room underneath. And then you've got the lemony lime color of the sedums as well. And these look like they were on the brink of death. They were yellow. There weren't very many leaves. Look at it now. Proven winner's fertilizer. This is so beautiful. Well, guys, that's going to be it for today. I'm going to get a little watering done here, a little bit more, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for gardening with me today. Bye.